Right, let's all.
Hi guys, welcome to today's lesson on the solo from Morning Glory, the main solo from Morning Glory. Hopefully you've just heard me playing it through and you can't hear me sniffing too much, but I do have a bit of a cold, so if you see any breaks or anything like that, it's probably me having a bit of a coughing or sneezing fit, okay? So I do apologise if I sniff or if I sound a bit funny, it's just because I have a bit of a cold. So let's crack on. As usual, you know, he would have played this with a Les Paul, probably. It might also have been a hollow body thing, like the 335 with the Union Jack. That's what he played it with when they played it live, Main Road. So yeah, and then probably through a Marshall or Orange Amp or something like that. So a bit of a different tone to the one I've got. So as usual, I'm not trying to hit the tone up. I'm just trying to show you the notes that he'd play. Okay, so song is in E minor. Basically, we're playing the solo over two chords, E minor to D, and that's actually most of the chords in the song is E minor to D. Most of the song is that chord, just those two chords. So really, really simple stuff. So it's a bit unusual for him. It's a really, really cool solo actually, and it's quite aggressive and fast, and that sounds really great. It fits really well with the song, which I do like. But he's actually playing what is effectively position 5 minor pentatonic, and then he's basically doing that in position 4. But only the bottom bits. Yeah? And then just those bits of those two positions. So it's a little unusual for him. But it's got a couple of other things that are classic Noel Gallagher sounds. So it's an interesting one. Anyway, I'm mumbling along a little bit, so let's actually crack on and do this solo. Okay, coughing fit's done. So basically, this solo does flow really, really nicely together, but actually there's two long licks is really how it goes. There's a little bit of a pause at the end of the first lick, and then obviously the second lick continues through. So it's one of those ones that's just kind of two long licks that do flow really nicely. So let's just start. 12th fret on the B string, B note. We do a bend up and down. So it's a short one. It's not. It doesn't sound like a C sharp he's in. It's not there. It feels like quite a short bend, but you know, it's one of those things that it's more about getting that quick bend feel. 12th fret B string, 10th fret on the B string. Okay, it's an A note, and then what we're going to do is we're going to play 12th fret on the G, 10th fret on the B, 12th fret on the G. So like that. That's our first little bit. And we're going to move it back to this position 4 minor pentatonic in E. It's a weird way to say it. There you go. 9th fret on the G string. Then we're going to play 9, 7, 9, all on the G. Like that. Oh, that note's buzzing slightly. Need to change my strings. And then we're going to move then, you know, what you'd think of as the A blues box, but it is actually minor pentatonic, E minor pentatonic position 4. 8 on the B, 10 on the B, 8 on the B, 10 on the B, but a bend up. Full tone bend. We're going to stretch with our pinky to hit that E note, 12th fret on the B string. Get used to that look, because we're going to do that a lot in this song. And then I'm going to re-pick and bend it down. So we've got 8, 10, 8, 10 with a bend, 12, and bend it back down. And then I'm going to play, still on the B string, 8, 10, 8, 10, 8. Yeah? Lots of 8s and 10s there. So that full 8-10 section goes 8, 10, 8, 10 with a bend, 12 on the E, bend it down, 8, 10, 8, 10, 8. Okay? And then we're going to move back to here. I use my ring finger for that 9th fret on the G, 7 on the G, 9. Then I'm going to play 8 on the B with my first finger, then 9 on the G with my middle finger, and then back to that 8 on the B. Okay, hopefully I haven't gone through that too quickly, but it's kind of all where you'd expect it to be. So it's... So any chance you get to land a note, even for just a little bit, you want to hit that vibrato. So that 8 at the end of this bit, I put a tiny bit of vibrato, and that's only really, that's basically two quavers stuck together. So it's the quaver at the end of 4 and the start of the next bar. And then when you actually finish the lick with the, that's obviously a longer note, that's a crotchet, it's a full beat, quarter note if you're not using the silly British words, and you would vibrato that. You know, why wouldn't you if you're going to hold a note for a whole crotchet? So that's the first lick. I mean, it's a really cool lick, it flows together, but it's not difficult to play at all. With a little, you know, if you know how to do bends, there's no reason you can't do this song. The only difficult bit is just getting used to that stretch. Some people would play with their middle finger and stretch it up with their ring. That works as well, but that's not how I do it, okay? It's one of those things that's like, this is, to me, this it's the best way to do it, but actually this makes perfect sense as well. So you go, or, yeah, either of those two ways works. And when we do those bends later, same rules apply. You're going to see me doing it with third and pinky like that, because that's how I want to do it. But it's not technically wrong at all to do middle finger, because in some ways that makes more sense, or there even more so. Because that's just an easier bend and a more comfortable bend to do. So whichever way of those two works for you best, do that, okay? So I feel like mine is the best for me. Sorry, try not to cough too much. So, end of the first lick, let's move on to the second lick. It's very, very similar. We start with the bend on B, just the same. But this time I'm going to play basically 10-12, 10-12, 10-12. So instead of just doing 10-12, 10-12, 4 notes, I'm going to do 6 notes. I'm just going to add on an extra 10-12. So it's going to be... And again, we have a little bit of an extra quaver, which is an 8th note, to put a little bit of vibrato on it. Okay, get my words up, come on. And now I'm going to shift position here, 9-7-9 again. Then I'm going to work back up here, 8-10-8, yeah, all exactly the same basically, except for that those added couple of notes. Then this is the bit that's the hardest to hear actually in the song, and this is the hardest bit to transcribe, because I've actually got the official tab book and this solo wasn't right, so I've had to change a few notes. So this is the one where I was listening to the YouTube video you know, loads of times at 50% speed just to try and get it, and then this is about as close as I can get it. It sounds right to me, but if you don't like it, obviously these are the right notes kind of thing. There might be an extra unison bend. It's very, very hard to hear though. So let me just take a break to cough. Okay, so let's actually do it now after that short break. I'm going to bend 10, stretch up for that 12. Okay, so that's the same. Then I'm going to do a unison bend. Okay, now here you could almost always do just a bend then the note, or you could do a unison bend in the note, which is what I prefer to do, okay? So I'm going to do a unison bend, 10 on the B, bend that note, and then keep 12 on the E stationary. Again, you could play it like this, absolutely fine, but this is just, for me, because of where I've just come from, that feels most natural to me. So the first one is a bend up, then the 12th on the E, then it's a unison bend, then I'm just going to hit the 12 on the E, then it's a unison bend, then I'm going to hit the 12 on the E, okay, and then we've got another unison bend, then I'm going to re-pick it and bend it down, and once I get there I'm going to slide away to nothing, but when you slow it down to 50%, it actually sounds like he works his way back through the minor pentatonic scale on that slide. So you'd slide from 10, so you'd bend it down, 10 to 8 to 5 to 3 to nothing. And that's what it sounds like when you slow it down to 50%. You can almost hear the first couple, that 8 and the 5, at normal speed, but as I say, once you slow it down you can definitely hear that, so that's what it sounds like he does. So that final, so let's do the final lick. Oh, I did the wrong note then. I did a 6 instead of a 5. What a fool I've been, but you see, you get the idea. Basically, so that was it at full speed. Let's do it a little bit slower. Yeah? And that's the whole solo. It's 2 long licks. Obviously, you've heard me play it at full speed at the start. I'll try and play it through now, just right at the end slowly. So let's go through. yeah, something along those lines. So it's just, as I say, E minor to D is the chords underneath. So that's it. Cool. So hopefully you find that useful. Hopefully you can see it all. I've got a bit of a lighting issue today, basically. So hopefully you can see it all. I think it's not too bad. I think you can just about see those notes. Should have played it more like that anyway. Yeah, cool. Anyway, so stop mumbling. I'm actually going to go and cough somewhere. Hope you enjoyed it. As usual, I'd really appreciate it if you like the video, if you comment on the video, and I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate if you do all of those things. It's a really cool solo, slightly different to some of his other solos, so it's a fun one to learn. Next video will be the main rhythm parts of the song, okay? And then at some point I will do the outro solo, but it's going to take longer because I've got to transcribe the whole thing. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it and found it useful, and can keep playing Oasis. And as usual, I always say, feel free to send me videos of you guys playing this. I've had a few and I do really appreciate it. It's nice to see people enjoying guitar and enjoying playing these songs that I put up. So yeah, I really appreciate it all, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.